Okay, so we've just done this this lab, and we've got force and we've got distance, and so what's the relationship between force and distance? So the shorter the ramp, the more force you need to make it go up the ramp, right? So this is why the Americans with Disabilities Act specifies a certain, like wheelchair ramps have to be a certain steepness. They talk about the angle or the degree of slope, and there we go. Because presumably you can't exert that much force with your hands, and you got to be able to go up it by yourself, right? And then what happened with the third column? It was the highest, and it was because we multiplied them together. Generally around the same number, just burbles around. Is it conceivable that that third column could have been the same number? Is that possible? Yeah. Now, you're not supposed to know this yet. This is something called the work-energy theorem. Okay? And it goes something like this. It's an advanced thing, you know. Okay? But if I take this cart, if I take the cart, presumably if I actually made it go up that ramp, whatever that distance was, right? And the end result was that the cart was on the average, whatever that height is above the ground. Yeah? Okay? It doesn't matter how I get it up there. Concept zero is that this thing called force times distance is work. Okay? And the work is the same whether it's a small force for a long distance or a big force for a short distance. Does that kind of make sense? Because the end result is the same. The end result is that the same amount of stuff has been lifted up the same distance. Yeah? There we go. So that's the exciting conclusion of this. You could pass those forward if they're done. If they're not done, you can just turn them in. And then get out a sheet of paper for notes. Yeah. If you're still working on it, you can keep working on it. Also get out a sheet of paper for notes. There you go.
Have you seen the Marshawn Lynch one?
No, dude.
Oh my god, it's on my Facebook. It's so funny.
I gotta watch it.
I don't even want to describe it to you. You just have to watch it.
Corey was
Yeah, speak into the microphone.
There we go.
Oh, is that?
All right. Yeah, I did. Okay. I need a thing for this. I need a thing. People turned them in is what they did. Okay. Here we go. Class, can I have your attention, please? So, concept zero, work is a transfer of energy, is what I'm going to call it. And I'm actually setting up a joke, but the punchline doesn't come till much later. But I will laugh at the joke, and you will be like unaware that a joke has been made, and that's just okay. Okay. The formula for work is that work is just force times distance. And so if I exert some force, if I exert 8 newtons of force, and I do that for 3 meters, right, then I'm going to do 24 newton meters of work. So a newton meter is a unit of work. That's kind of cool, right? Okay. You can also say it's 24 joules of work, right? Or if you're British, you can actually say jowls. I do believe they say jowls, which is much more, that's more fun, isn't it? Jowls. How many jowls do you have? And then, of course, you can also say 24 capital J. It's an amount of energy. If you buy a paintball gun or you buy an airsoft gun, they actually talk about the energy of the little bullets in joules or millijoules or something like that. And about 2 joules hurts real bad if it's like a little plastic pellet, you know. But like a real rifle bullet would be a lot more than that. And then I have to tell a story. This is totally unrelated. It's not going to help you learn joules at all, but it is a funny story. This is the first lesson I ever taught. So I'm a senior in college. I'm doing this job shadow, and I'm job shadowing this guy named Gordon Risch, who's teaching at this high school down the road, and he is like, you know that general guy from Avatar? The guy with like the big claw marks, right? Take away the claw marks, that's pretty much this physics teacher. And he would just walk up and down the road and he'd be like, rah, rah, and the kids just loved him, right? And then he has me teach, and I'm sort of this, you know, skinny kind of hippie kid with a big beard and worn out corduroys and plaid. You were picturing this, right? You know, and I get to this part and I'm all nervous and the kids are all like kind of nervous because I'm nervous, you know, kind of thing, you know what I'm talking about? And I get to this point, I spell the word, but I don't pronounce it. And a kid sitting right about where Tom's sitting raises his hand and he says, Mr. Murray, how do you pronounce that? And honest to God, I really meant to say crown jewels was what I meant. I was picturing crown jewels. I said it's jewels like family jewels. Yeah, it's like a reference to testicles, I guess. There's no, you know. Now, I meant to say crown jewels, pictured the crown jewels as I was saying it, said family jewels, right? Now, there's 2 things you can do when you just referred to that in a high school classroom, right? One thing you can do is you can laugh like I just laughed, you know, and then you laugh, and then that's it, right? The second thing you can do is you can pretend that you didn't just refer to testicles, right? And so I thought about it very quickly and chose the second course of action, right? And the kids, for their part, pretended they weren't laughing at me. That's pretty hard to do, isn't it? And it becomes like this forbidden laugh. Because it's like, you know, the first day of school and you don't want to really, you know, it's that sort of situation where it's a forbidden, like you shouldn't laugh. Like at a wedding, you shouldn't laugh at weddings, right? Have you ever gotten a laugh, though, going at like a wedding or in church that you shouldn't have, right? Like at some part where you're supposed to be like sad or reflective and you're just laughing. Right? Have you ever gotten that? Yeah. Or heaven forbid you're at a funeral, hopefully not of someone you know too well. Anyway, these kids were just having a hard time. I think there were tears coming out of their eyes. They were just... And I just kept teaching because that's all I knew how to do. Jewels, there we go. Where are we? Now, let's go back to the transfer of energy thing. This mass, am I doing work on this mass as I just lifted up here? Yes, I am. Okay. Gentlemen, can I interrupt? Thanks. Okay. I am doing work on this, right? I am pushing upward on this thing. It's moving upward. Does it now have more energy than before I started lifting it? No. If anybody doubts that it has more energy, put your hand right here. I think that might hurt a little bit. Yeah, it definitely has energy, right? It has an ability to land on something. I could drive nails in with it. I could attach it to like a generator and it could generate electricity or something like that, right? So when we talk about transfer of energy, that's what we're talking about, is that this thing, as I lift it up, it gains more and more energy. It's gaining potential energy, right? I could also take a ball, right? And instead of lifting it up, I could just speed it up, couldn't I? Just like, right? Like somebody walking by. I'm trying to aim low, you know? At least give these guys like a heads up. There we go, right? So I could give it, and in that case, I'm actually transferring kinetic energy to this thing, yes? Yeah. Yeah, there's 2 different, we'll get to that, right? But that's what we're talking about, is force times distance. Now, are you guys ready for this? I don't think you are.
Oh, yeah.
Watch this. Oh, not that one. Watch this one.
Yeah.
This one won me PowerPoint of the year in 1997. Just watch it. So there's a cosine of an angle there. There's a cosine of an angle that goes in there. And the reason for this cosine is